Welcome back to Organizing Your Preps. Get it together. Today we're going to tackle this pantry part that has spices and I'm not sure what. It has everything and more. So let's get into this. I'm going to put you down. I'm going to pull out all of this and we're going to see what's here. We're going to consolidate. We might have to get rid of some things. We're just going to take some inventory because it's a hot mess. Hold on. Well, I'm back, and all I can say is I did not realize these two small shelves could hold this much stuff. It's amazing. As I was taking everything down, I saw so many duplicates. I was just amazed. So let's start at the front and move to the end. I'm going to start with the large quart-sized jars. These, let me move some of this out of the way. Like I said, it's just a hot mess. This is dried rosemary. As you can see, there's an oxygen absorber in there. This is rosemary that I have cultivated from the homestead. So we're going to go ahead and put this back on the shelf. Excuse me. I do want to keep that. Here is something I found unusual. Red quinoa. It is sealed. It has an oxygen absorber in it from 2013. We're going to put this on the side and find another home for it because it's not a spice. It's not even a baking item. So we're going to put that on the side. Now, let's go to cayenne pepper. That's good. We can keep that. We're going to put that on the side, though. We have another quart jar of red pepper flakes, which is great. Now, it does have an oxygen absorber in it, so we'll put that on the shelf, and it's shelf stable. And these are things I use on a daily basis. They just end up being a mess. Here's another quart jar that's a garam masala. I use this periodically, so I'm going to put it at the very back of this pantry because I don't use it every day. Here's something that was unmarked, but we all know what it is. It's a quart jar and it has dark chocolate chips in it. I don't use these hardly at all, so they'll be at the very back with the garam masala. Then I found this. This is actually raw sugar. I got this when I was on an award trip. I think it was Barbados. I'm not sure. It's fine. It's raw sugar. It's packed. And I'm just going to put that at the back because I haven't ever used it. And it's still good. So let's move on to some things that probably don't need to be on the first two shelves. I have my cheesecloth. I do not need the cheesecloth readily available for everyday use because I don't use it that often. So we'll put that on the very top shelf. The next thing I have is, it's called seasoned salt. It's like seasoning salt. So there's different seasonings in here, and it's got some salt. It is in a quart jar, so I'll put that on the shelf. Well, we're moving along pretty fast. I did find one small jar of my hot oil. Now this is dry peppers, olive oil, and this has been here since 2010. This is extremely hot, but it doesn't go in that pantry. It doesn't go in that area. So we're going to put that aside to put it somewhere else. Here is some basil that I have dried, and I started drying it in 2012. And it's sealed. Oh, it needs a new oxygen absorber. So I'm going to put that where I can easily use it on one of the shelves. What I don't like about the pantry that I have, all the jars are different sizes, and you'll see that coming up. Like, here's another quart jar of chili powder, and it has an oxygen absorber in it, but it's a different shape than this one. It's the same size, but a different shape. But that's okay. I use what I have, and that's what a prepper spice pantry is all about. So let's put this on the shelf, because I use that. Okay, we have different spices. Here's a spice that I have quite a bit of. I thought I was going to enjoy it. I thought my family was going to enjoy it. It's called Oriental 5 Spices. It is not for our family. For some reason, it has a strange taste. And I think I have 3 containers of this. And so we're definitely going to put this on the side and pass it along to someone else, because we tried it once and did not like it at all. So we're going to pass that along and see if someone else has a use for it. Let's get into salt. Here is a container of pink salt. It's in a small jar and no oxygen absorber, because you don't do that with salt. So that goes back in. Now we get into the different items that we found. Here is a plastic container. It says cilantro leaves, but there's nothing in it. So we definitely will recycle this container. Okay, it's gone. And here's something I got out of one of my gardens. It was lavender, and I did dry it. Now, this could go in a different pantry, but I'll put it on that second shelf at the back, and it'll be stacked properly. Okay, we have basil. Again, this was dried and back in 2012. It does need a new oxygen absorber, so we're going to put that aside to correct that. We have another glass jar that I found, and it has parsley in it. Or does it? So let's open this up, and there's nothing in it. Again, I will recycle this and make sure that I have parsley in a different area. Now, this is something that's near and dear to my heart, and it's garlic powder. But there's nothing in it. So this garlic powder, I did find the garlic powder that I use all the time. We will recycle this container, and we will put the garlic powder that I have in this glass container. I enjoy glass a lot more. So we will use the glass container, and we will recycle the plastic container. So that will go on a shelf. There are so many things in here that need to be consolidated. Now this is something that okay, what is this? Well, it's not labeled correctly. Well, it is labeled correctly, but if I looked at this on the shelf, I can't see what it is. Well, it's baking soda. No, it's baking powder. I wouldn't know that at a glance. And again, it's an odd shaped glass because I just use whatever I have. So let me put you down for just a minute, and I'll be right back. Well, I am so glad you're back. Now, what I'm doing is I'm going through all these little jars to see if there are duplicates. The great thing about these jars, they stack. They can stack up to 3 high in the pantry, in the prepper pantry for seasonings. And I am very thankful about that. Now, what I also have are some of these little containers little jars of spices. Some are in grinders, some are not. And these will just have to be in an area by themselves because I don't want to transport it into a different jar because it's already in a jar. If it were in plastic, like this cumin, then I will find the cumin jar and I will put that in there. I also have in here, buttermilk powder for baking. I have cornstarch. There are a lot of different things. Baking powder, and there was a small jar of baking powder, so I'm going to find a larger jar later and combine those. And I do know I have larger jars. Cooking spray, so many different things. So I'm going to put you down for a minute and get this organized and bring you back and show you how I did. Well, I'm back. So let's see how I did. Let's open up this cabinet and see what's left. Okay, what I did is I put the spices, if you see the smaller containers, I don't use those as much, so I put them at the back. Obviously the pink salt and other things I use. Over here, as I said, the little jars stack, I was incorrect. They do not stack 3 high, it's 2 high, which is fine. The next shelf up, you're going to see the sugar and some chili powder. I'll have to mark those other jars because I don't want to have to pick them up, look at the top to see to see what's in there. Then on the left, I have baking items and some items in the back of the large jars. But this is all the baking items I have right now. So I really appreciate you stopping by for this Prepper Pantry, Get It Together, and this is the baking spice area. If you enjoyed this video and want to get in and organize your spices, give me a thumbs up. Also in the comments below, share with myself and the other viewers how you organize your spice Prepper Pantry. I appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video.